Hello and welcome to 3-Minute Game Pass. I'm Nathan, and here we tip this Game Pass games with your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Raji, an ancient epic. Raji's brother is kidnapped by demons. Are you a bad enough dude to save your brother? Raji is an Xbox and PC cross-release that features both cross-save as well as play anywhere, which is fantastic. There aren't any upgrades for it for Series or X consoles, and the game is about 5 to 6 hours long. So what exactly is Raji, an ancient epic? Well, it's a third-person fixed camera adventure set in Indian mythology. Raji's brother Go has been stolen by demons. What can I say? Happens to everybody. So Raji prays to the god of war Durga, who gives her a weapon to go on a journey to kill demons and save her brother. Basic gameplay is very similar to the older God of War style of games, with a bit of the Prince of Persia platforming mixed in as well. You have heavy attacks, light attacks, and B-button executions, and you traverse in a fixed camera across wondrous environments while Durga and Vishnu discuss and narrate Raji's quest. The game is fairly evenly split between combat and platforming / visual exploration, as well as has an upgrade system that unlocks the more you explore. Aside from that, this game is a fairly bog standard fixed camera third-person action game, which if you're familiar with, say, the old God of War games or the Dante's Inferno game, this is very similar. What do I like about Raji? Well, I really do think the areas you explore have a strong and distinct visual style to them. I like that they are very unique and visually interesting. Similarly, I also enjoyed the storytelling. It takes a very simple story, but the gods discussing over it really adds another layer of entertainment that you might not have had if it had just been told normally. And lastly, I'm actually really excited to see a game that's set in Indian mythology. This is not a type of mythology that I feel is commonly represented in video games. Often we tend to lean on the Western European style of mythology or Japanese mythology from Japanese games. Drawing on that type of history is really cool, and I wish more games did that. When it comes to the bad, unfortunately the basic gameplay mechanics generally feel old and outdated. This style of game does feel a little old at this point. Additionally, the combat is just really clunky. It doesn't pair well with the enemies you fight. There were times where I felt like input presses weren't registering. It's supposed to have a bit of like a rhythm to its combat, but because of the poor controls, I found myself failing more often than not, which got frustrating very quick. And lastly, the character just generally feels slow, which makes exploring through the game a bit of a chore. Everything feels like it takes longer than it should, which made it feel like my ancient epic was through a quagmire rather than out on an exciting journey. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale. Must play, maybe consider, don't bother. I think this is definitely a maybe consider. If you're interested in Indian mythology, I think you will enjoy this game in spite of its gameplay issues and blandness. I really enjoy being immersed in that mythology as well as the visual aesthetic of this game. I thought it was fantastic, and the places that Raji explores are super interesting. The main issue was just getting around and in those places, combat or otherwise. That bit just wasn't very fun, frankly. I'd love to see the devs make another game where they spend more time polishing the gameplay as much as they spent polishing the storytelling and environments in Raji. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and go out there and enjoy Raji, an ancient epic.